So God has designed his church to affect change. So what is that? What does this look like? God has created his church, his kingdom, to go into the culture and to affect change within the culture. So Jesus has no problem with his church being in the culture, but he does have a problem when the culture is in the church. And so what does it mean, the culture? What it means is its rhythms, its thinking, its thought patterns, its acceptance. And so what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take this kingdom into the world, and we're supposed to release light. That's one way. We're supposed to release a fragrance. The Bible references that way. We release the fragrance of Christ. Your life should release a fragrance. It should be generous. It should be kind. It should be merciful. It should be loving. And dare I say it, it should be moral, right? That should be the fragrance of our life. It should be an aroma that comes off of us. It's not some religious construct where we're all walking around like a bunch of religious elitists who know everything and we look pure on the outside, but we don't have it going on the inside. So what he's saying is like, I don't have a problem. The whole design of the church is to bring the ethos, the cultural movement of the church into the world. And that's how we affect change. Why are you generous? Why are you hopeful? I'll give you another one. The tone of your life should be hope. You shouldn't be freaking out and in fear. You shouldn't be depressed. You should have hope because you have Jesus. You don't have hope. You don't have hope. You have hopelessness because of your circumstances, but it doesn't matter your circumstances. You have Jesus, right? Jesus is hopeful. No matter how bad it looks, Jesus is the God of resurrection. He's the God who gives life to the dead. He can change anything. So no matter how it looks, we have hope. So we should be projecting and releasing hope into the world. We should be releasing faith into the world, believing God for the impossible. And what happens, and one of the ways the church is not just affected through corrupt teaching, it's affected through corrupt voices that come from within the culture. And we buy into this stuff. Oh, it's going to be a recession. It's going to be a recession. Whoa, it's going to be a recession. Well, who told you it's going to be a recession? All of the news channels, Elon Musk is laying off employees in preparation for the recession. You ever notice that all of these people are saying the same thing? You ever notice that? And you ever thought for a minute that maybe, just maybe, they're all getting marching orders from the same source? Has that ever occurred to you? That when you listen to, no matter what you listen to, they're all saying the same thing in one version or another. They're like talking points, and it's all coming from one source because they're trying to influence you. They're trying to influence the masses. They're trying to move the masses in a direction that they want them to go. And you know what? For the most part, it works, right? The opposite of cowardice, the opposite of courage is not cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity. Opposite of being a if you can't be courageous, so courageous, its antonym or its opposite is not to be a coward. It's to be conformed, right? We're not to conform, we're to transform. Romans 12:1. We're to conform unto Christ, but we're not to conform unto culture. If I'm making sense, you guys are looking at me like weird. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. Right? Say, Pastor Kevin's my friend. That's right. I'm your friend. I'm here. Help me help you. And the church is affected through the voices that it listens to. The church is affected by the voice it listens to. The leader is affected. I don't listen to any voice, Christian. I'm not out there listening to anything. Oh, you seen gas prices lately? Have you seen gas prices, Pastor? When do you think gas prices come down? Oh my gosh. We got to start hoarding gas. Do we? Jesus isn't telling me to hoard gas, right? I'm out there pumping gas. I told you all this week before, and I had the gas pump. I'm like, man, Lord, what about these gas prices? What are we going to do about these gas prices? I just asked him. You know what he told me? Stop looking at it. That's what he told me. Stop looking at it. So what's it going to cost you? An extra $100 a month? You don't have the faith to believe me for another $100 a month? Where are you? Right? We're the people of God. We serve the sovereign. Jehovah Jireh is our king. Do we not call upon Jehovah Jireh? Can we not call upon the Lord? Can we not exercise faith in the dominion of our finances? Or are we too weak and timid and cowardly that we're affected by the culture rather than the kingdom? That's just a question. That's a question. You have to decide what kind of Christian you're going to be. Are you a kingdom Christian or are you a cultural Christian? If you're in the culture, you can be a cultural Christian. There's lots of them. We have massive churches filled with massive amounts of cultural Christians. As soon as the heat comes on, poof, they disappear. They have no root within themselves because everything that's been given to them has been shallow and sugary sweet and tasteless. They run with fear. Run to the hills, and there's the Christian running right behind the people running to the hills. The Bible says, stand your ground. I shall not be moved. These are the terms of the believer. You wouldn't recognize it in the modern world. Run to the hills. Run to the hills. There's going to be a recession. Ah. My neighbor pulls up to me in a golf cart because I live out in the woods. And the neighbor drives up and down my street all the way because at the end of my street, there's all these ducks. And so he brings his kid down the street to check out the ducks. And every day he comes by in a golf cart, pulls up, starts talking to me. Oh, you stupid, like small talk, neighborly stuff. And he's like, oh man, don't make any big financial decisions this year. It's like, you don't know what next year's going to be. We don't know what's going to happen to the economy. We're heading into a recession. And I'm always trying to talk to him about Jesus. And so I just looked at him and I said, I don't participate in recessions. He looked at, his head snapped. Right? I said, I don't participate in recessions. Where's your faith? I said, I'm not bound to this world, I'm bound to his. My life does not flow from the earth. My earth flows from heaven. And until you understand that, nothing's going to change. If you continue to let circumstances affect you, you will be forever affected by circumstances.